Okay, we're going to look at positive, negatives, and intercepts today. So this would be both x and y intercepts is what we're going to look at. So let me just give you a quick definitions first. So positive, we are going to say that a graph, we're looking at graphs as well. This is the same as we're looking at with increasing, decreasing. But positive, our definition for that is it is above, anytime the graph is above the x axis. That's when it's positive. It's really saying what y values, or what type of y values am I getting. And like if you do it non-mathematically, it's just when is the graph above the x-axis. For negative, that is when I have negative y values. So this occurs when the graph is below the x-axis. Okay, and then the other two things that I have, an x-intercept is when it's on the x-axis or when it's really essentially zero. So an x-intercept, again, that is when we are on, it's a point when we're on the x-axis. And then the y-intercept's all by itself. The y-intercept is when the graph is on the y-axis. If I could spell here, my bad. It's when it is on, again, the y-axis. So we're looking at above, below the x-axis, and then on the x-axis, and then on the y-axis. So you just need to be able to recognize that and to be able to find those. So we're going to walk through a couple of these. So if I look here, I am above the x-axis here and here. Okay, and when we write that, we always want to write that using, again, just my x values. We're going to do an interval with this as well. So really, I'm not so focused on the line that's above, but I'm focused on this x-axis that it goes all the way from this left all the way to this point right here. And then from this point all the way on it is as well. So I'm going to communicate with the x-axis. So where I am positive, I'm going to say it's from negative infinity to this point right here, which that is negative 8. Okay, so from negative infinity to negative 8, it's positive. And then it's also positive from this point, which is at negative 4, all the way to infinity here. So that's where I would say it is positive. Okay, negative is below the x-axis, so that's going to be here to here, which again, I'm curious on the x-axis. So my x-axis from here to here, it's from this point to this point on the x, it is negative. So for my negative, it's going to be from negative 8. Oops, that is not a very good 8. Let me erase that. So from negative 8 to negative 4. Again, that's from this point here to this point here. And that's the only spot that it's negative. The other thing that I want is I want my x-intercepts. My x-intercepts are when it's on, so that's at this point, and at this point, those two green values. And all I'm going to say is that x is equal to negative 8 and negative 4. I'm just going to put those values where it is on the x. And then the only one that's different is my y-intercept. This one's not there. This one's, all the graphs you guys are going to look at, they'll be there. But this one's going to be way up here. If you think about it, this is going to cross that y-intercept way up there. So it's going to be like y equals, let's just say it crosses at like 20 up there. Okay, but it's going to be up above. It's just not on the window that we have. It's going to keep going that way. Okay, so let's do that with this one as well. So I've got positive here and positive here. That means this part of my x-axis and this part of my x-axis. So for positive on this graph, we are going to be from negative infinity again to negative 10. And then the other one's going to be from this value, which is at 2, to infinity. Negative. My negative I've got here, which should just be this middle section again. So that's going to be from negative 10 to 2. My x-intercept, I have two of them. They are here at -10 and at 2. So how I communicate that is I just go x equals -10, comma 2. And then my y-intercept, this one's nice because I can see this one. It's not off the screen here. My y-intercept is right there, and that is at -2. So we would go y equals -2 because we're using y because it's the y-axis. Okay? Awesome. Let's look at, I'm going to skip that one to the right. Let's actually look at one of these here. So again, this one's good. I've got a positive here to here, which I want my intercept there. And I've got positive there, which would be this direction. Okay, so my positive, again, is above the x-axis. That is going to be from -3 to 1. Again, -3 all the way over here to 1. And then the other part is going to be from this point here, which, what is that? That's like, that's got to be 8. It just isn't showing up very well there. So that would be from 8 to infinity. So from 8 all the way to infinity this way. Okay, my negative. For my negative, I've got here and I've got here, which that takes up this part of my x-axis and this part of my x-axis. So working left to right, that'd be -infinity to -3. And then 1 to 8. My x-intercepts, I've got multiple for this. I'm just going to go x equals. I've got one here at -3, at 1, and at 8. So -3, 1, and 8 is how I'd write that. And then for my y-intercept, that's nice. I can see this one as well. It's on the screen. That's going to be right here at this point, which looks like it's at 20. So I go y equals 20 for that one. All right, let's do this one more last example here. So looking at positive first, again, it's positive from here down to here, which that takes in this part only to here. Notice how this is not an arrow. So that would be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be from -5 to -1. So -5 to -1 is where I'm positive. I'm also positive here to here. That would be from this value, which I would say that's probably like 1.5. Say that is to 3. That's where I'm positive again from here to here. Negative is going to be here to here, all this stuff. So that's going to be from -1 to 1.5, and then also all the way this way from this value of 3 to infinity. And that's where this is negative here. My x-intercepts, I'm going to have x is equal to a few different values, -1, 1.5, and then 3. So -1, 1.5, and 3 would be where I'd put my x-intercepts. And then the last bit is my y-intercepts. My y-intercepts, I only have one, and it's right here. This value at -1 is where that would be. Okay? All right, this has been your Math Moment with Mommy. Adios.